What up, beautiful people? My name is Bonanka.
What up, beautiful folks? You guys already know by name by now. Kenna Tankau, aka they already know, right? So I don't need to say it. Funny guy.
Yeah.
I think today let's talk about being an employer or being an employee, also having worked for someone before. Some of the dynamics around it, from both angles. I mean, like from being like an employee and then from being an employer. And yeah, just some of the mistakes you've seen other employers make, some of the mistakes we've made rather. What it's like being an employer. I feel like that type of topic today.
So yeah, guys, basically if you're gonna choose to be, some people like, I don't want to work for anybody, I want to be my own boss. So we're gonna tap into that because that's where we are currently, where we used to work for, different companies, but now we are self-employed, we work for ourselves. So I guess it's all about tapping into a little bit of information of some of the things that go on behind the scenes of, working, being your own boss, because right now we're at that point where when we started, it was just the both of us, in terms of being the employees of the company. But now we've managed to create a team. We've got a team of about 11 people right now. So the why I raised that point was to say, now we've been in it for so long that we can't just decide to stop today and say we can't do it anymore. We've invested it now. These people are depending on us to show up. I can't just say tomorrow morning, hey, I don't feel like this business anymore, I'm closing. Now we are too far invested to be stopping.
So there's obviously different dynamics. I mean, if you talk about being employed, it's a different dynamic to being an employer, right? So there's obviously different types of responsibilities, but the main
benefits of both.
The main responsibility of both is for the advancement of the business, like making sure that the business grows, whether you're an employer and whether you're an employee. So one of the things that I would recommend for people also wanting to be their own bosses is go through like a work experience where you work for someone else, or you work, let's say for example you want to be a chef, right? Or you want to have your own restaurant or whatever one day. It'll be nice or smart to go and work at an actual restaurant to see how they run it, how the person who's maybe managing that specific place is running it, what goes on behind the scenes. Obviously if you want to be an employee, then you gotta see also some of the characteristics of learning how to deal with people, so it's not just you hire someone and that's it. Like there's so much that goes on behind.
There's a lot. There's company culture. There's company chemistry. How do people get along? Do people get along? Team chemistry. So you as the guy who's chosen to
actually employee morale. Sorry.
Employee morale. The supplier morale is also there. How do you feel about you as the business? There's a lot. So if today's topic, we're basically touching about if you decide to want to work for yourself. We are young, so we usually, when people are bosses or the employers, it's usually people who are older. So even when we are young, there's certain challenges that we face, because now some of the people that kind of work with you, for example, they would think, okay, no, this person is not too far off my age. So it's all about developing that those respect, that boundaries, that your leadership style. What do you choose? Or which type of boss are you? You know what I mean? So for a lot of people, it's not as easy as me, I'm just gonna leave my business and go work for myself, or I'm just gonna work for myself, I'm never gonna work for anybody. It's not that easy, because there's a lot of dynamics behind it. So you need to be prepared. If you choose that route, you need to be prepared mentally and physically, emotionally, because there's days where you're a business owner, it looks nice on social media, but the bills have to get paid. The more people you want to hire, the more you want your business to grow. There's a lot of things that you have to get to do, like business compliance, business marketing, all these different steps, like production, production management. You're dealing with customers, being able to advertise, being able to pay your rent on time. If you don't pay your rent on time, what happens? If you don't pay your people on time, what happens? So there's all those dynamics that goes on just to being your own boss. It's not this thing of, I'm my own boss, I'm making so much money. There's a fantasy there.
And every own boss or every boss needs like people to help them run a company, because you can't run a company alone. And one of the major things about being an employer or a boss is being able to deal with different people's personalities, because every person you hire has their own sort of personality, and you have to also learn how to manage a specific person. Like I read somewhere that you don't treat every employer the same way because people don't have the same sort of characteristics. And I don't mean obviously favor one more than the other or whatnot, but I mean like
Employee, not employer.
employee, yeah. I mean like being able to deal with someone on a day-to-day, like understanding what type of person, their temperament, what type of person they are, you know, how does this person take instructions, what is the best way for this person to take instructions, because some people also they catch on much quicker than others, and some people obviously learn how to handle responsibility different from others. You get situations where people are at work and people like panic, or like they shout at each other because they're working under pressure or whatever. But so just being able to manage people's skills and mistakes people make, there's so much that goes on behind it actually.
Yeah, so for us with our business, people will think obviously it looks easy and all that stuff, but during the years we struggled a lot in terms of paying rent on time. Sometimes you didn't even pay rent this month. Sometimes you had to pay people, but you pay them late. They're angry. You know, it's month end. Somebody wants their money. They don't want to hear. Hey. They don't want to hear the stories of your sad story. They want their money. They already have those plans. So we've been through that phase where, yeah, we couldn't pay the rent. You know, we couldn't pay the people on time. Your suppliers, you late with their payments. You know, so it's not as easy as, hey, we have a business and now the money's coming in. Some months it's dry, bro. Some months you just paid your people and you don't have anything for yourself as the person who owns the business. But owning a business is more like a long-term investment. In the first couple of years, you're gonna lose just losses. But eventually, if you've been doing it long enough and you've stuck at it, especially people who don't come from like wealthy families where now your uncle or your dad put in like 100K in your business and say run, where now you have to just grow your business through sales. Now you just buy this, sell, make the money. You invested in a logo, you invested in this, you invested in graphics there, you invested in this. So it's a long-term journey. So if you're in it to get rich quickly, you are going to lose, and you are going to, sometimes it's honestly best if you actually want to own a business, like you said, it's just best to go work for somebody who's doing what you're doing. Like one of the things we're reflecting on is like, we should have went to go work retail, go Markhams and all those things. It would have given us a better experience in terms of how to handle retail. So because we didn't go through that route, it took us a longer time to get into retail and understand the dynamics of retail. So it's actually good sometimes to go work for somebody, learn the ropes, see how things happen, then move into
then do your own thing. Because
sometimes we worked a lot of companies.
Because sometimes you get overwhelmed. Like if you just start a business and there's like, business is also about information. You gotta know the right things to do, like the right things to have. So when you take the time to go and learn from other people, you're also taking the time to grow yourself as a business. It's not even a shame to go work for other people, because sometimes people are so caught up on, me, I want to be an entrepreneur, I'll never work for somebody. And that's not the right mindset, obviously. The right mindset is, who can I go learn from? Like maybe you're going to work at a specific place for 2 or 3 years to go learn the ropes, right? By the time you go apply that same thing into your company, you have context. You know where the suppliers are, you know customers, how they behave, you know just how to deal with the dynamics of that, owning that specific business. So it's good to obviously do that groundwork and that research to know, okay, this is what the day-to-day of running, for example, a restaurant. Like obviously if you think about, I'm just gonna sell food, it's gonna be easy or whatever, it's not like that. There's specific dynamics and things that we don't see as other people, that restaurant owners or restaurant managers,
compliance, health compliance,
the stuff that they go through behind
labors,
having the restaurant, like people like
and the bigger the business gets, the more responsibility you kind of have also in terms of compliance. It's SARS, it's UIF, it's CIPC, it's labor, it's sales, it's your cost, again, cash flow, what's coming in the business, what's going out, how are you sustaining yourself? Because guys, it's a long and painful journey in a way. You enjoy it as you're doing it, the better it gets. But even when you're stressed and when you're worried about finances, you can't really think. You can't be in your creative space. You can't go out and sell. You can't be where you need to be. So it's best when you started and like. But they say also, don't treat it like a side hustle. The minute you start to treat your business like a side hustle, then it performs like a side hustle. It even underperforms. So a lot of people always think, no, I can have a job or I can just open a business and hire somebody to run it.
It doesn't work like that because you're gonna have to, get your hands dirty and learn the ins and outs of.
You get knocked. You just you put somebody there and you pay them to run things. You'll get knocked.
Steal from
you need to know the business inside out. Unless you've already built a couple of businesses, so now you understand the dynamics at play. You can hire professionals. You can hire this and this to run this. But when you're young and you can't trust somebody, your business is like your baby. You can't just trust anybody with your baby. Like take, So it's also how you change your lingo. You have to learn the business lingo. You need to know when somebody says submit an annual return, what are they talking about? So the more you are in it, the more you're invested in it. And we as entrepreneurs or business owners need to take the time to research.
Yeah.
You need to go on YouTube. You need to learn about your industry. Sometimes people just freestyle. Yeah. You want to sell food, but you're freestyling. You don't understand the dynamics. You don't understand how to sell it. You don't understand how to get the clientele. You don't know the presentation. So we need to also invest a lot into sitting on YouTube, watching things about businesses, business companies that have done what you want to do, learning from them. I mean, we did a fashion show once, and we literally, before the fashion show, 2-3 months, we were literally watching fashion show videos just to understand what you're dealing with, what you're going to be doing.
Yeah, just a little bit of that understanding. You need to obviously know the specifics, like the specific things that need to get done, you need to know. And also, I wanted to talk about how, as an employer, also as a gent, don't sleep with the people you employ. Like as a gent, also you have to have that self-discipline as a man to know that if there's specific businesses, obviously you're gonna need to employ a lot of females or whatever, or just even if you do have females in your company, like that discipline to know that this person is not someone that I should be sleeping with, or
even your colleagues, bro.
Your colleagues, like people
shouting somebody at span,
so we gotta have that etiquette also as people, because you make your work environment very difficult when you do things like that. In the beginning, it might be nice or whatever, but what happens if the relationship between you and that person turns sour? Is it also gonna affect the work performance? So. So we need to have that discipline also as men, or just as people, not to sleep with our colleagues. Like, we're here to work. We're not here to have sex. We're working.
Yeah, the painful part is that there's some industries where you hear that a lot of men take advantage of the authority.
Oh yeah.
A lot of
the mining industry.
Yeah, different industries where before you get the job, it's like, hey, let's go to Road Lodge. Meet me at the Road Lodge at 6 o'clock. That's where some of our Grootmans or the older guys, the guys in authority who do that. Obviously, they cover a lot of potential that people eat. Because imagine you just got to Spain, you got a job, but you slept with your boss. You kind of compromise from the beginning,
Yeah.
You compromise, like
in the respect, fella, that person that they'll help for you.
Instead of calling that person Mr.
So we need to
because you've seen him
so now we need to have that discipline as people also, to know that don't sleep with the colleagues, or just also understanding. I feel like sometimes people, and I've seen it in a lot of employees or people, not necessarily the people we hire or whatever, but people also tend to think work is like personal relationship thing. Like at work, we're here to work. Like we need to have that professionalism as people. When we're at work, like let's be working. Let us treat this like a professional setting. Let us treat our colleagues like professionals. Let us treat the business like a professional setting. Like people need to be more professional at work. I feel like a lot of young people, the whole youth unemployment thing, people will cry, hey, but we don't have work, or they will cry and this and this. But then you get a job, and then 2-3 months down the line, you don't have that same respect for that job or the same urgency you had.
You
start teaching late, or you start giving basic performance. You work just enough so you don't get fired. Or
even sometimes people don't level up in terms of their careers, because you don't take your career seriously in a sense that, sometimes you're working for someone or you whatever, but you Sunday you go out, tomorrow you have to go to work, something important, maybe a presentation or something that's very important that can be career advancing. But somebody will go out, get home at 4 5 in the morning, and you're going to work at 6 7.
Hours, yeah.
You know what I mean? That's not like a respectful way to to honor your job. To say you're gonna get to work with a hangover, you're already gonna underperform.
Yeah.
And people do that so often. You stay in the same position for
Your
5
whole
to
life.
10 years because you've been doing the same thing. Sunday, you can't have the discipline to say Monday morning I need to be up, I need to be sharp, I need to be ready to go in, and I need to go perform and give my best.
Yeah.
There's a difference between people who are leveling up. And it's not like we porn or anything, you don't drink, you've never done it. We've all probably done that thing where you just got to work, you drank yesterday, but you gotta see, this is something that it won't help me advance, so I can't keep doing it.
Because even as employers, you tend to see the people you have, and you notice things about them that they may not necessarily see. You see that by the time obviously your business grows and it's time to your business levels up financially, you know that there's certain people within your company that you also have to level up financially because they've been putting in so much work and so much effort. Like people who put in time to make the companies grow. When it's time, when the business gets to a point where it makes the financial, when it has that financial means, it will also upgrade the people who deserve it within the company. So sometimes even as an employer, you see certain people, but like, okay, this person's doesn't work hard enough, or this person's always giving bare minimum or whatever. When the time comes and you have the financial means, you don't even think about, I need to help this person out, because you feel like, but you're not doing enough.
But people are also quick to bash business owners. Hey, people are always quick to label the employer or the company as bad, doesn't treat us good. But how do you treat the business also? Like, what type of effort do you put into the business? Like your perception, like some companies really need people, the employees, to be helping with sales. Like, do you help with sales, or you just leave it to somebody else's job? Nah, it's not my job, So sometimes people are so quick to say business owners, hey, and then tomorrow the company is liquidated or they're retrenching because the people who are entrusted with the job, like we're giving you span,
they're not working hard enough.
You're not like, we can't always be at 100%. It's impossible. Some weeks is like, it was that minimum week, bare minimum, but it can't be always bare minimum. Bare minimum needs to be rare. Like, this week I didn't underperform, maybe because there was a funeral at home, or me and my partner are going through a separation, or something that was disturbing you from performing. But don't always be quick to say, hey, company hates so, but you as the person, you're not putting in that much. You're not putting in more than you are expected to put in.
Yeah, and that's the thing with people. Sometimes you put in just enough not to get fired. And you notice it a lot. Like, this person just puts like just enough. Because even when you look at people that work within your company or work for you, you see within the past 2-3 years, this person has the same amount of work ethic or work rate. This person is never willing to say, hey, you know what, let me stay an extra hour so I can finish, or let me come earlier so that I can start earlier and finish. You see that level of mindset people have, like, oh, it's lunch now, I'm not waking, or no, it's what, you see the mindset in people to say that this person just gives enough so that they
come late, go to lunch long, come late after lunch, leave early.
You've had those type of experiences with people, like where you've had to fire someone. Like, I don't know how many people I've had to fire, but
and people who've left, like, this is not working for me. Oh, bro, thanks for your time. Fair. Maybe at this time we were struggling financially, so we couldn't meet your needs the way, and you had to leave. And it's like, bro, all the best.
No hard feelings.
No hard feelings, because the people you work with who start in your business are not necessarily people who are gonna finish with you. And as we grow, as things change, you need to relocate, you need to do this. Change of mind, you wanna go do it on your own, you wanna go try. So yeah, we at that point where, guys, every big company was once a small business. So let's also, as people, not treat small businesses like, this is just mang. Sometimes people are really trying behind the scenes. They financially stretched, especially business owners. They say month end we pray for business owners.
The economy also, yeah.
Sometimes it's tough, and that person is just doing what they can just to keep this business surviving. I remember there's times where we've had nothing, bro. You don't even have money to buy yourself 12 rand airtime, bro. You don't have,
You
you
literally
don't have
paid all your
money
bills and
to,
you had
to
nothing
go
for
home,
yourself.
bro. You don't have money to bolt home. You don't have money. You gotta go catch a taxi now. You gotta, we've been through those moments. So it's long. It's painful. It's enjoyable though. But it's not a shortcut. People, if you're looking to go into business and you're young and you want to explore, don't think there's a shortcut where you get rich quick scheme. Unless you're doing it illegally, then yeah, sure. But if you're gonna do it the legit way and you're building something solid, it's not a shortcut. You're gonna take many years, a minimum 10 years to start seeing significant results. Minimum of 10 years.
Even something that I wanted to talk about is employee morale. As people, you're responsible for the energy you bring to work. There's people who can come to work and the person is sulking or they're moody, and it's like, back to what I was saying in terms of, let's keep this workspace or work environment professional. Like if you're saying you're professional, when you get to work, control the energy you bring to work to other people. Like, do you contribute towards a positive environment at work where people feel like, yo, yes, even though I have to wake up, it's cold in the morning, but it's nice at work. Like I get along with the people I work with, or are you the type of person who makes other people miserable to come to work? So it's very important. Like, and something that I've seen that's important for me is like the type of energy someone brings into the work environment that we have is very important, and we have to protect the workspace.
Imagine you as the employer, you got dumped, you're the boss, you came to work, you're angry now, you're taking it out on your people, shouting at somebody for something that somebody irritated you, and then you come and you shout at this person. So even us as employers, it's our responsibility to manage that. Hey, I need to come with good energy. Some days you're not in the mood. We get it. We're human. Some days it's one of those days like, hey, dog, hey.
And it's about also just being respectful. At the end of the day, you gotta respect the people you work with or for, or you gotta respect people. Like, treat people like humans. Even if someone is your employee, doesn't mean you have the right to talk to them any way you please, or or you humiliate people.
Some guys, business owners or people, they have a sharp tongue. They tell you straight, or they tell you shit, or hey.
I've always genuinely believed, and this is coming from having worked for different businesses or whatever, some work environments were very toxic and you hated going to work, and you just did enough so you could go home, because it's like, why am I gonna give extra? Because I know those guys are gonna benefit of my hard work or whatever. So for me, like, one of the most important things that I've realized about being a business owner is like, create a work environment where people love to come to work and people can get along, and there's like some sort of teamwork, and that the energy is good. Because
so going to what you say also, as people work hard for you, don't work hard for them. Sometimes we quick to say, but this person is not doing what they're doing, so I'm not gonna do what I'm doing. There's a lot of mental capacity a lot of people have. This one is not working, so I'm not working. Why not take it extra load? So it's like, work hard for you, don't work hard for them. So that, because if you work hard for you, the favor comes to you. Sometimes we have this attitude of, you say, me, I'm not gonna do nothing because this one is not doing anything. That person's responsibility. That stuff makes people stay stagnant, bro.
So it's important to the type of energy or the type of contribution, skill level, or mindset, or whatever you contribute as a person towards that company that you work for or work with, or whatever the case may be. You gotta bring your A game into the workspace. Like, I think about it as a soccer team. There's a striker, there's a goalkeeper, there's a defender, there's a midfielder. Like, everybody needs to know their role within the company, and everybody needs to perform to their best so that the whole team can win.
Play your part so
other people can also win. So because this is like a well-oiled machine that needs to run. A business is like something that's running, that's moving. So sometimes
it's easy when you say, I've done my part, so please now I've done what I had to do.
And I've done my part exceptionally well.
I've done my share, you do the share, you do your share, then another one does his share, then everybody works together, because bro.
Then even the business grows. Like, when business needs to grow. At the end of the day, the business needs to make money. You're here to bring value to the workspace, because we must never forget that every position that people have can always be replaced by someone else. So
AI is going to replace
a lot of jobs. So as great as you think you are, you can be replaced. Never forget that. But focus
whether
on
you're an employee or
value.
A business owner, you can get replaced.
Can get replaced.
As we wrap up, guys, If you want to own a business, just know that it's not a get rich quick scheme.
Yeah.
It's gonna take you a couple of years to build something solid. Thanks to technology now, you can kind of speed up the process. But you still have, there's still a whole lot of stuff that happens behind the scene that you have to
Go through.
through your own challenges. Somebody stole from you, they stole your stock was short, your stock got damaged,
Lost money.
this one did this one did this, it didn't fit, it had to be sent back. So the point is, if you want to open a business, if you want to be in business, then you got to do it full time. Don't come and play, because once you decide to open a business, there are people who are going to rely on you to make it so they can make it. Like as I said, as government keeps saying in South Africa, it's up to business owners to change the economy. It can't be the government. So it's also up to the employees of the business to say, let me play my part so everybody can do what they gotta do.
Small businesses employ 60% of the youth. I read something like that. So with that being said, guys, thank you. I think it's episode 10, 12, 13,
10,
14.
10.
We've been shooting so many, man. I can't even
10.
keep up though.
10,
So
10,
guys,
yeah.
peace out. Thank you for watching.
Thank you for watching. Please like, please subscribe,
Share,
please share,
and
please
comment also
yeah.
some topics that you'd like us to talk about, or if you like something specific we said. So yeah, guys, peace out. Yeah.
And we are here.